Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. It's Wendy here from Little Nest Crafts. I hope that you're all well, and thank you for joining me this evening. It's Sunday, it's Sunday tea time actually. So for anybody new joining us, welcome. It's great to see you, and for all my regulars, thanks for joining me once again. It's much appreciated. Well, this video is another in the Margaret Miller Weekly Planner Challenge series. We're now on weeks 41, and I'll go through the prompts which I've got here, and the first one is a list of a few ingredients from a favourite recipe. Number 2 is something found in your bag or purse. Number 3 is something mechanical. Number 4 is something that looks like a secret code. Number 5 is a house, and the bonus is a key. So I'll pop the prompts to one side as I normally do, and I'll get my page that I work on. And what I've done this time is I've left it blank. I haven't actually put the 1 centimetre border around because I keep forgetting to rub them out. So I'm just going to go with it as a plain page today. Now then, the first prompt that I've used is number 1 on the list, and it says a few ingredients from a favourite recipe. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of the ingredients down. So what I've done is I got this page out of a well, it's a faux page out of an old cookbook, and this recipe here for cheese straws, it is a recipe that my mum used to do at Christmas and things like that when we had extra special treats, and she used to make these lovely cheese straws, and so I'm going to include this recipe, and anybody who wants to try it, please do, because they're really tasty. So it's a recipe for cheese straws, and this is 1 cup of grated American cheese, 1 cup of flour, 1 teaspoon of royal baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt, or is that quarter? It might be a quarter. No, it does say half, but you can reduce that for taste. Quarter of teaspoon of cayenne pepper, or less if you don't like it so spicy. Quarter teaspoon of paprika pepper, or less if you, same again. 1 egg and 2 tablespoons of milk. And it's a really easy recipe because you just put everything all into a bowl, and you mix it all together and form a pastry. Don't mix it too hard, because the less you handle a pastry, the lighter your pastry and the more flaky your pastry will be. And but anyway, you add the milk and make it into a stiff dough. Roll it out to 1/8 inch thick on a floured board. Cut into strips 5 inches long and 1/4 inch wide, and then you bake in a hot oven at 450 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes. And it makes about 30 cheese straws, so little goes a long way with that recipe. I don't know what the temperature is in Celsius, but off the top of my head, it's probably between 160 and 180, depending on whether you've got a fan-assisted oven or an oven without a fan, just as a rough guide. So that's the recipe of my mum's. And then it says a house. Now, over in the United Kingdom, we've got lots of lovely villages that have thatched cottages, and they're my favourite. I like old traditional buildings, and thatched cottages are my favourite. So I looked on the internet for some ones that we've got, and I've just printed them out basically, and I've cut round them. So most of the ones that we've got, you know, you get Welsh thatched cottages, you get in the Cotswolds are some beautiful ones, Irish over in Ireland, they've got some lovely cottages as well, and they're dotted all over in the UK, and Derbyshire and places like that, and Yorkshire. So yeah, we're really spoilt for choice. So if any of you come over to the UK, you know, do look some of these villages up, because they're well worth a visit if you like old traditional cottages. So the first one I've got is this one, and it's a typical picture book, what I call a chocolate box cottage, with the roses growing up round the door, and you know, thatched cottages with little tiny windows, and the fence round the lawn at the front. So that's a typical one there, and I'll bring it up to the camera so you can see it a bit closer and see how pretty they are. So that I'm not going to block this recipe now, so I'm going to do try and not to cover it up if I can. And I've had a little play to give myself an idea of where I want things. So what I've done is, because I couldn't choose between these three that I picked off the internet, I thought I would use them all. So this is another style where you've got the wooden beams on the outside of the house as well as on the inside, and there's another one there with a thatched cottage, and this one's actually taken from a street in the Cotswolds there. So I'm going to use three. So I thought what I would do is sort of dot them on this page here, and then I'd work around them a little bit. So I could actually cover that where it says makes 30 straws to try and get that more central. So I'll leave it like that for a minute. But oh no, before I do that, actually I'm going to glue this background down, because I know that I want this as my background piece. So we'll do that before we start. And it's looks as though it was taken from an old American cookbook, and because I know that you use cup measurements, you know, half a cup and quarter of a cup and things like that, whereas we tend to work either in grams or the traditional, all our old cookbooks were in pounds and ounces. So I think this is an American cookbook. So I'll put that round to the centre. Try and get it as straight as I can. Is that straight? Yeah, I think it's fairly straight. Maybe not. Maybe it does need moving over just a smidgen. Wait a minute. Not very good. I've just managed it in time. Let me work from the bottom here. Trouble is, if I move it now, I'll probably make it worse than it was before. But anyway, we'll have a go. We'll have a little go. That looks reasonable. Pull it over just a tad. No. Excuse my parrot in the background. There we go. That'll do. She's having her chatty period at the moment, and she gets louder as the evening goes on up until about 6 o'clock, and then we put her to bed. So you might hear her shouting and performing. So I'll just give that a bit of an ink to get rid of the edges, and I'll pop that over there just for a minute. And then I thought I'd have this one up on the top, so we'll do the same. Just get rid of those edges. There we are. And this one on the bottom. So this is the house prompt. I'll try and keep that above this line here. There we go. Maybe come over a tad with that. So at the moment we've got list of ingredients is there, and we've got the house. Something found in your bag or purse. Now I like, well, I say I like handbags. I haven't got that many because over the past, well, since COVID struck, I tend just to use my phone, and I, you know, keep my credit card in the back of my phone, and I don't tend to carry much cash these days. You know, everything we seem to work on card, because I know sometimes when we go out, you go in somewhere and they don't accept cash. You've got to pay by card. So the days that I used to go out all the time with my handbag hanging over my shoulder are very few and far between. But a long time ago, when I holidayed in Cyprus, because I used to live in Cyprus when I was a teenager. I think I've told you before, my dad was in the forces, and when my children were small, we went over. I must have been about in my 30s, early 30s, and we went over for a holiday there, and to reminisce my childhood. And I bought a leather saddlebag, and it was very like this one. So they're my favourites. So I've found two on Amazon, and I've cut them out. I don't know whether I'm going to use the large one or the small one. So what I thought was I would tuck that behind there to hide, because obviously I want it to be concentrating on the cheese straw recipe, but try and keep the title at the top, so that doesn't look too bad, but maybe try the smaller one so it's not so overpowering. Yeah, I think that one's better, so I'll pop that one out the way a sec. And then what I did as well, I cut out a few extra bits which I'll mention in a minute. So the something found in your bag or purse, well, that's my bag. I always used to carry a bottle of perfume, so I've cut out two of those, and I think looking at it, it's going to be the big one, because I wanted just to cover that picture that's peeping from behind the house there, and that one would obviously be a bit too small. I wanted to cover the sandwich. Yeah, I think the plate's a bit distracting, so I'll put that one out the way, and we'll use that and maybe shimmy it along so not so much of that picture at the back is showing, and stay within the borders of my working area. And another thing that you find in your bag is a credit card. So I wanted to introduce a bit of blue because we've got the blue skyline there and we've got the blue skyline there, although it's bluey grey. So I've got these pictures of credit cards here, and I thought I would tuck that behind just to hide that sort of recipe there. So I might turn it round a little bit. Or maybe pull it out a little bit further. So we'll leave that as is just for a second. So that's the other thing that's found in my handbag or purse. And then to have it in threes, I like to work in threes. I should have maybe got another picture, but I never thought about the working in threes then. So I could tuck that one behind there maybe. And then we've got the next quote is something mechanical. Now, what I did, because the recipe was, the third thing that was in my handbag, I'll take that, I'll leave that perfume there, sorry. The third thing that was in my handbag was I always carry a picture of my mum and dad because they've both passed away now and I like to remember them. So I was going to tuck that behind there, and then obviously that's related to my mum because of the cheese straw recipe, and we lived in Cyprus, which has got the leather handbag there, and so it's all sort of memories really. And then my mechanical item was this little clock, and it was a clock that my mum and dad used to have on the fireplace, and it's a clock that it's called a pendulum clock, and it was made of brass. The base of the clock was sort of brass, and there was a glass dome going around the outside to protect it, which you used to remove because you wound it up at the back with a key. And once it was wound up, these little pendulum, there used to be like some little balls round the bottom, and these used to rotate backwards and forwards as the clock was, as the hands were moving round. And they had it for donkey's years, and then the glass dome broke, and eventually it stopped. It stopped going, and it was in the days where I don't think you could get replacement domes, or if they did, my mum obviously didn't look for a replacement dome and she bought a different clock. So that's my mechanical piece there, and it's obviously tied into, my mum, my parents. So do I put it behind? Just tucking out like that. Yeah, I think so. And then the original thing I was going to use when I was first thinking was I've recently bought one of these little mini sewing machines to sew around my ephemera and things like that to save me getting my big machine out all the time, because I work on my dining table, so I'm constantly having to put things away. I haven't got a craft room, unfortunately, so I was going to use that, but I don't think it really ties in. It doesn't really tie in with anything else, so I'm going to leave that out. And then so that's my only mechanical item that I've chose at the moment. And then the fifth prompt, 1, 2, sorry, the fourth prompt is something that looks like a secret code. Now, when I thought of code, the first thing that sprung to my mind was the Da Vinci Code book that I read a few years back when it first came out. And so I downloaded this picture, and it's the Da Vinci Code book. So I thought, well, it's not an actual code as such, so how could I make that, you know, tie in? It's a story about a code, breaking a code. So I wanted to use the book, and so what I've done is I've downloaded, well, some letters, and I was going to use it as a strip down the side of my page, and then maybe make up a sentence that is, you know, that these could be you know, breaking the code for that particular sentence. But instead of doing that, I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate these words. And I'm going to stick them in the book. So this is when I need my tweezers. And I'm going to use them as a code, and unfortunately you'll have to use your imagination as to what code is being broken, unless I can think of something now which I can add to the book. So I'm just going to pop that up there a second, and it doesn't really matter which order I put these in now that I've cut them up. But I'll try and just trying to see whether they actually do fit in on one page, which would be nice if they did. Let's have a look. If they did fit on one page, I could write the code down there, couldn't I? And I think that's what we're going to do. So there we go. Right. There we are. There we are. And now I've thought about it, I shouldn't maybe have stuck them down, and I should have written a sentence out and then cut the letters out. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is, in hindsight, hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Yeah, what I should have done was made a sentence up and then cut these out accordingly and put them down. But so anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, and then do I make that a secret pocket? Stick the whole thing down so I can tuck something in there, maybe. Anyway, I'm happy with this layout, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start gluing things down. I just hope I can get things back in the right place where I wanted them. There we are. So I hope that you're enjoying this series. I've been watching a few more of the old ones, and there's been some really great collages. There we are. So if I glue that down there. Love and miss you, Mum and Dad. There we go. Pop that there. They were so young there. My mum got married when she was 19 and my dad was 21. I tell you a lie there, because my dad was 6 years older than my mum. I got married when I was 19 and my ex-husband was 21. My mum was 19 and my dad was 25. Right. But they both look so young. Let's have a look. Oops, see, I've made a mistake there now with this one. Whoops. Can I get it taken off and do that? Yeah, just. Phew. I was forgetting about not covering the recipe. There we are. So that's okay there. Right, let's pop this clock on now. There we are. And then we'll glue this on, and then I'll not glue it fully down till I've got these in, and I'll just have it dropping over that bottom line. Do that, and then we'll pop the perfume in, the extra bottle. Seeing as I've cut it out and don't like to waste paper. go. And then we've got the Da Vinci book. And I'm just going to glue the whole thing down rather than have a pocket. Although it would have been nice to have had a secret thing and for the code. There we go. And then that'll open up there. There we are. And I could put something in there maybe. Maybe my sewing machine for my hidden, my other mechanical piece. There we are. Okay. So that's this week's collage. Just clear the decks a little bit and we'll go through the prompts, just make sure everything's stuck down. Oh, I'll tell you what I could have done if I am quick enough. Yes, I am. I'm going to take that out and discard that. I've just suddenly had a thought. I haven't done the bonus. Forgot all about the bonus. And the bonus is a key. So if I get my box here, I did actually get my charms out, and I've got a bag of charms here. And most of these are keys, so I need to find one that's fairly flat. So there are other charms in here, as you can see, but I have got some nice keys. So let's have a look. Excuse me. Oh, there's a flat one. Yeah, that's nice. Just make sure there's not another one that's flat. I think that one's the same. So that's good in a way, because I can use it up. Yeah, that's lovely. We'll use that one. So I'll pop those to one side, and we'll get some 3-in-1 gel, 3-in-1 beacon. Oops, a daisy. Now look what I've done. I've took the whole lid off and it's all glugged out. So I have to use what I've got on my fingers, so as not to waste it. So excuse me, folks, while I scrape it off my fingers. I only meant to now then, let me just get my tweezers. Sorry everybody, it's all over the glue's all over my hands. So if I get that, quickly pop it down there. There we are. And then try and wipe off the excess. There we are. It's all over my fingers. That's the nice thing about about this glue is that it does actually wipe off. You just rub your fingers and it comes into like little balls. So there's my little secret. That's going to be my safe cracking thing, and that's the key. There we go. Safe cracking code, and then you've got a key to open the safe. Right, we'll just go over my prompts and check that we've hit them all. So the first one is a list of a few ingredients from a favourite recipe. So you've got a list there of what's incorporated to make the cheese straws, and you've also got the method as well. So if you do make those, I hope that you enjoy them. Something found in your bag or purse. So that's my old saddle bag, and you find in a bottle of perfume my parents' photo and my credit card, amongst other things. I mean, I could have chosen a pen, you know, makeup bag. Not that I wear much makeup, but I could have added a few more items. Something mechanical is this little pendulum. Is it a pendulum clock? Anyway, this little clock, an anniversary clock it is. It used to be called an anniversary clock, not a pendulum clock. That my parents had on their fireplace. Something that looks like a secret code. So you've got the Da Vinci code, which strictly speaking, I was stretching the artistic license a little bit there. So I've got my code inside, and once the safe code has been used, you crack open the safe with the key, and that's the bonus. And then finally you've got the house. So I've got 3 cottages there. So I think I've more than hit the prompts on the house front there. So I do hope you like that. That was a stroke of luck, thinking about a key. And I hope that you've enjoyed what I've done, and that you'll join me for next week's video. Until then, everybody, take care of yourselves and stay safe. Bye for now.